Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, my first video will be about the equation of a line and its gradient and y-intercept. So the formula or the equation that we use to write the values of the line is y equal to mx plus c, where c stands for the y-intercept, while m stands for the gradient. Don't worry if you do not understand what these words mean, I'll explain them briefly in a while. So, what does gradient mean? Gradient stands for the steepness or the slope of the line. It's how steep the line is. It's how across and how high does it go. So if it goes one across, how high does it go? So I like to remember it in a ratio known as y is 1 ratio x. Well, not x, y. 1 ratio y. Because if it goes 1, how much does it go up by? So y, basically. Ignore this 1y. Let's do this. And so we've written that. So that's the gradient, basically. How steep the line is, how, if you go 1 across, how many squares or centimeters do you go up? Right? Now the y-intercept, let me get my ruler out. So this one, 90. There we go. Now flip this over. 0. It's not really 0, but there you go. Done. The y-intercept is, so first let's label our, that's not y. First let's label our graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. So what the y-intercept is, let me write its definition here so you can make a note of it. Y-intercept equals where the line crosses the y-axis. Oops. Sorry about that. Y-axis. No. The y-axis is this vertical line, by the way. So let's draw a line real quick. Get our ruler back out again. Flip it. Yeah, let's draw a line like this. So let's take a look. So you can see our line. It goes through the x-axis. So let's ignore the x-axis because the y-intercept means where the line crosses the y-axis, which is this vertical line, and not the horizontal x-axis. So we can see that this line goes, and it arrives at the negative y section. And we can clearly tell that it crosses between -1 and -2. So we can make the inference that the y-intercept is 1.5. Right, let's try that again with a different line. So let's say that you have a line and it goes somewhat like this. Here we can clearly tell that the line crosses here where y is 1. So our y-intercept here would be 1. If the line was at a different steepness or a different gradient and it crossed, let's say, 5, our y-intercept would be 5. Simple. Now I'll be talking to you about how to find the gradient. Well, no, how to find the y-intercept without a graph. So just write our formula down. Y to mx plus c. M is the gradient, c is the intercept. Easy. So let's say we have a gradient of 5. We'll substitute that value into our equation where y equals to 5x plus c. We don't know what c is. So we'll be given a point, any point, any numbers, could be some coordinates. So let's say we have a point of 0, 4. So let me quickly draw my graph again. It'll be quick, just not a neat one, but a real quick one. There you go. So because our values of x is 0, this is x, this is y, x would be 0 and y is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That means it's over here. That's our y-intercept. That means the line would cross here. If it was something like 3, 4, that means it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. That means it'd be 3 and 4. It'd be over here, which is not the y-intercept. That's just plotting a simple coordinate. Right, let's get rid of this. Delete that, delete that. Boom, bam, bam. So our point was 0, 4. Because we know that x is 0 and we only have 4, which would be just on the y-axis, that means the formula is y to 5x plus 4. Easy, right? Now let's get into a bit trickier parts. Right, if you ever got a question like this, I'd suggest that you write your equation first to remember what it looks like, and at the end what you should write here. So let's say we have a gradient of 4. And let's say you have the points given, or a point given 7 and 8. So they ask you to find C. C is the y-intercept. So let's substitute the values that we have. We have the gradient, which is 4. So we'll write that down. Y equal to 4x plus c. So how would you find the gradient? Well, not the gradient, the y-intercept with only these 2 points. It's quite easy, to be honest. So 7 and 8, we'll write that down. So this is basically written as x and y. This is x, this is y. So x equals to 7 and y equals to 8. It's good that you write this down either here or either somewhere in the corner so you can remember what your values are and so you don't make silly mistakes, basically. So y is 8, so we substitute these values. Y is 8, x is 7, so we'd get 8 equal to, because we already have 4x. 4x means 4 times x. So this would be 4 times 7 now, because we've removed the x, we've substituted it with 7, and we get 4 times 7 plus c. So this would be 8 equal to 28 plus c. So now we just want c on its own. So we do minus 28 both sides, minus 28, and we'll get minus 20 equals to c, or c equals to minus 20. Right? Let's make up some space. So now that we know c is minus 20, and we know what our gradient is, our final answer should be y equal to 4x minus 20. Sometimes you'll get an even harder question where you have no gradient. No gradient, where they expect you to find the gradient and the y-intercept. So this is how you do it. You'll be given 2 points. Point A and point B. Sometimes they call it point X, point Y, point D, point Z. It doesn't matter. So let's say point A we have right now is 7, 9. 7. No, let's not do 7, 9. Let's say 3, 4. 3, 4. And let's say B is 2 and 1. So we already know that this is basically written as x and y. And to find the gradient, we do change in y over change in x, right? Change in y over change in x. So this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. So we find the difference, which is the change basically. This is just as it's this change in y and change in x is the same way as saying the difference in y and the difference in the x values. So let's find the differences. So 4 take away 1 is 3, and 3 take away 2 is 1. Simple. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be 3 and 4 minus 2 and 1. It could also be written as 2, 1, 3, 4. You'll still get the same answer when you divide. Right? Take away that, make some more space. So because we know that this is the y, this is the difference in y, also known as the change in y, and this is the difference in x or change in x. So 3 would go on top, 1 would go at the bottom, and we'll get our gradient of 3. Right? So now that we know our gradient is 3, and our point A was 3, 4, and point B was 2, 1, we can just solve it as normally, where we would find the y-intercept. So y equal to 3x plus c. We could either use 2 and 1 or 3 and 4. So let's go with 2 and 1. Easier, low values. Just make it life easier. Why not? So x is 2. Oops. And y 1. Substitute these values into our equation. Y equal to 1 and 3 multiplied by 2, because 3x means 3 times x. So now that we know x is 2, this would just be written as 3 times 2. Oops. Oops. Take it out. 3 times 2 plus c. 1 equals 6 plus c. Take away 6 both sides because we want c on its own. And we'll get minus 5 equal to c, or rearrange that to get c equal to minus 5. Now we just substitute the values of c into our equation, and our final answer should be y equals 3x minus 5. That's the end of our video. I hope you found this explanation easy. This is also my first video, so please feel free to give me some feedback if I was talking too fast, or you couldn't hear me properly, or I wasn't pronouncing some words right, or my writing was a bit not neat. Please let me know. Feedback is just helping me out. I don't take it as criticism. And yeah, hope you like this video. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and yeah, have a great day. Thank you very much.